So the documentary Catfish was so good, they turned it into a TV show. And now here to talk about its third season is Max and Neve. What's going on, guys?
Hello, Peter.
Hey, Peter.
Thanks for being on the show. So I'm a huge fan of Catfish. You guys do a great job. And I know how the show came together, but can you explain for everyone watching at home?
How we got started with the show?
That's all Neve.
Sort of. In 2007, I had a relationship on the internet with who I believed was a young woman and her whole family who became my friends, only to discover about a year later that many of the people, or in fact all of the people I thought I was talking to, didn't exist. That turned into a documentary called Catfish, which was very successful, and as a result, everyone started looking to me for help and assistance with their online relationships. And when we decided to turn it into a show, one of my old friends, Max, who happened to be a filmmaker, came on board to help me investigate and solve these online mysteries. And the rest is history.
Yeah, you guys have solved quite a few online mysteries. So what's different about season 3?
The show this year it's been insane because of the way behaviors are changing. I mean, when we started the show, internet dating was still taboo, and Instagram was new, if you can remember, way back then, and most people didn't have video chat functions on their phones. Not everyone even had a smartphone. Now we're fully immersed in this digital world, and so the cultural behaviors have pretty much shifted entirely. Everyone seems to be lying about something on the internet. Even the hopeful, the people that we're helping, they're lying now more than they used to. And they're also asking fewer questions of the catfish because it's just accepted that, sure, everyone talks to strangers on the internet and you're just kind of supposed to go with it, whether, despite how little or how much that person has proven to you that they are who they say they are. So what has changed this season? It's just lies on top of lies on top of lies from every direction. And we're just trying to sift through who's being honest with us and where the truth is.
Yeah, I think my profile might say I'm like 6'5", but we'll just keep that between us. So have there been any specific stories that have stood out with you making the show?
Yeah, for me, I think there was an episode we did with a young man who went by Kid Cole. I think he was 19 years old. He lived just outside D.C., and he had spent the last few years creating a character for himself in real life as an up-and-coming hip-hop music producer. And he had been able to convince dozens of people via emails and over the phone, playing his own assistant, that he was in fact this rising star. And he had booked, I think, speaking engagements and would get limousines to take him to clubs where he'd have VIP bottle service.
Jaden Smith was his best friend.
And he was so talented at lying and so good at acting and embodying this character. It was impressive on one hand, but also incredibly frustrating because if he had just applied...
And also disturbing.
Well, and destructive and obviously not okay because there are a lot of people who had lost a lot of time and money because of him, but his talent and his creativity were so wonderful. If he had just... I'm always frustrated because I wish he could have channeled those things, and maybe in the future he can, but into something constructive because I really think he's a remarkable young man.
Yeah, I actually remember watching that episode. It's one of my favorites as well. And yeah, if the guy just spent putting half amount of that energy into his music, he'd be really successful.
He seemed to make a left turn out of music and a right turn. Wait. He seemed to make a left turn out of music into calling in bomb threats to the D.C. metro area and went to jail.
So last question. I, unfortunately, recently became single. Any advice for me on the online dating?
Yeah, don't online date on using Facebook. Use a well-researched, like, kind of dating website where people have to prove to the site that they are who they say they are, where the site provides you information, and then once you meet someone via that site, within kind of the early days of talking to them, ask for proof that they are who they are.
I was just going to say use a condom.
Yeah, thanks, Neve. I'll be sure to do that. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being on the show, and congrats on the 3rd season.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
If you want to watch Catfish, check them out on MTV.